Stegosaurus. Hello guys, once again, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Stegosaurus. You may know them by the row of plates on their backs and their huge spikes on their tails. Also very small heads. Also known by having walnut brains, peanut-sized brains. And yeah, we're going to be talking about them, ranking them today. Stegosaurs don't change that much between them. However, there are some key differences. WUERHOSAURUS, or whatever you want to call it. Huayango. Huayangosaurus is a small, very small stegosaur from China. Yes, so China has a ton of stegosaurs. Like, it's China and North America when it comes to stegosaurs. But, yeah, China has a ton. And Huayangosaurus is one of the first ones, actually. A very basal member. Very small as well. This is a 1:35 scale one. Huayangosaurus, right out the gate, you can see, first of all, the head. It's very arrow-shaped, actually. Kind of like a spade. It's very broad on the back and very thin. Gets very pointy towards the nostrils. So Stegosaurs do have very small heads. That's a trait from all stegosaurs. Or, better of all therophorians, which include ankylosaurs. But yeah, stegosaurs, very small heads. Peanut brains, if you could call them. And Huayangosaurus has a pretty broad one. Speaking of stegosaurs. So, Huayangosaurus, very small. Kind of a big noggin for a stegosaur. You have those plates on the back, very small plates as well, kind of like pear-shaped with the ones on the front, and then more spiked ones on the back, actually. You have the thagomizer, which you can see right here. Yep, 4 spikes. And yeah, that's Huayangosaurus, basically. Nothing too crazy, and very basal. Where's Huayangosaurus? So I think I'm going to start with a beat here. It's kind of cute. It's very small. It's like 4 meters long. So, KENTROSAURUS. Okay, so we're going to move not to China, not to North America, but actually to Africa, yes. So, KENTROSAURUS is one of the OGs when it comes to stegosaurs. It's a small stegosaur as well. Kind of like the same ball plan as Huayangosaurus, previously speaking. And KENTROSAURUS is one of those discoveries that was like, oh yeah, things are getting crazy. Because Stegosaurus comes from the Tengaduru Formation, which is in Tanzania. Yeah, Tanzania is in Africa. Learned that. And we can see that it shares a lot of environmental animals as North America. You have KENTROSAURUS, which would be the mandatory stegosaur. You have a huge sauropod in Giraffatitan, which would be the equivalent to Brachiosaurus in North America. And then you have, these are, not very named species, but they're non-diagnostic, which would be Ceratosaurus, Megalosaurus, Allosaurus even. But yeah, it's actually pretty insane that we may have seen similar fauna in different parts of the world. But yeah, KENTROSAURUS, small stegosaur, it does have the very famous shoulder spikes. So you could see with Huayangosaurus and touch on that because it was found on KENTROSAURUS as well and made famous by it. So KENTROSAURUS, very cool little dinosaur, very important too for science. And it's in like Africa. Africa, we don't have a ton of dinosaur findings, but you know, KENTROSAURUS, very important. I really like it. I'm going to put it on, I'm debating an S tier, but no, I think we're going to put it in A tier. CHUNKINGOSAURUS. Okay, so aside from the name Chung, the Chung King, God, this is not serious. But no, CHUNKINGOSAURUS, another stegosaur from China, Shaximiao Formation. So this is from a very, very famous formation in China. It's from the Jurassic, obviously. That's where most stegosaurs are from. Except one. But it's not CHUNKINGOSAURUS. This is from the Jurassic of China. Yeah, so Nothing crazy about CHUNKINGOSAURUS. You know, medium-sized stegosaur. Well, not medium, kind of small. 5 meters, 4 or 5 meters. So in line with the small ones. And I would say the spikes on this one, on this guy, are a little more pronounced. So they go from the neck all the way to the tail. Funny thing is, those spikes towards the tail, they thought they were just extra thagomizers, which are the spikes on the tail, at the end of the tail. But they thought the ones that were before the 4 on the tail, like before, I'm gonna take this right here, those 4 right there, so it had more spikes like closer to it, the tail tip. So they thought they had like a bunch of spikes, like it's kind of like a pincushion kind of thing. And I mean, they thought it was that, but it actually turned out they were just like very like very spike-like plates. So I think that's it for CHUNKINGOSAURUS. CHUNKINGOSAURUS, you're gonna be a C tier, honestly. You're nothing crazy. DACENTRURUS or Miragaia. So there's something crazy going on right now with DACENTRURUS and Miragaia, and there's a paper saying or suggesting that DACENTRURUS and Miragaia might be synonymous with each other. So sadly, the name Miragaia could die here. It's not confirmed yet, but it is a possibility that Miragaia is just a DACENTRURUS. So yeah, actually gonna show you a couple of reconstructions of DACENTRURUS and Miragaia. So DACENTRURUS, one of the first, well, not one of the first, but one of the first stegosaurs which were found in Europe, I want to say. And the plates are something very debatable between stegosaurs, especially DACENTRURUS, since you have this reconstruction, which has smaller plates in front, very small ones, and you have the more spike-like ones on the back. Actually, this shows the pincushion way more, much better. The pincushion effect I was telling you before. But no, yeah, DACENTRURUS is not known to have shoulder spikes. This one does have shoulder spikes. But if we go with the Miragaia reconstruction, then you can see just a ton of plates. This one with the long ass neck. Miragaia is known to having a very long neck and having a lot more neck vertebrae than most other stegosaurs or dinosaurs in general. It's got like, I want to say 17. Correct me if I'm wrong though. But you can see the very long neck and the almost interlocked plates on the neck right here. So you can see also very huge Stegomizer. I don't know why this one is so big. But those are the two interpretations of both DACENTRURUS and Miragaia. Trim them both as one for now. I'm gonna have them both for now. And I want to say, do I give them an A? I want to give them an A. It's a very cool dinosaur. Also, huge dinosaur. GIGANTSPINOSAURUS. Okay, so here we have another small stegosaur from, you guessed it, China. Yes. Thing is, it is a small stegosaur. It is from China. It is not very impressive until you see its friggin' shoulder spikes, which are like the size of its own arm. So, GIGANTSPINOSAURUS, you can see why it's called that, you know, the giant spined lizard. Yeah. I mean, there's not much to talk about here. You can see the giant shoulder spikes. There was a bunch of debate on how they are supposed to be pointing towards, because they found the big ass spike and they were like, what the hell? Where do we put this? But no, usually they would like reconstruct it pointing downwards, but actually it was more upwards. I think it's what the consensus is right now. These shoulder spikes, I don't know what they were doing on your shoulders. Like deterring predators, I guess, from going for your neck, but again, why not have neck armor then? So, I mean, GIGANTSPINOSAURUS, at least is very distinct. So I'm gonna say you're a B tier. TUOJIANGOSAURUS. Okay, so if we're talking about big Stegosaurus, TUOJIANGOSAURUS is definitely up there. TUOJIANGOSAURUS, again, Shakshi Meow formation, like every freaking Stegosaurus from this formation. Oh my god. Can they be from somewhere else in Asia? No, they all have to be from this formation in China. I wouldn't be surprised if they were all like part of the same family or genus or something. Or they were like, the smaller ones are like juveniles, I don't know. It's a whole can of worms I'm not going to open. But no, TUOJIANGOSAURUS, this is the big guy from there. So it was probably the guy that was getting the most slack from the big boys from there. So that's going to be YANGSHUANOSAURUS, the KENTROSAURUS from China. And yeah, it was probably that was probably the battle that was going on there. That would be the equivalent from the North American battles. That would be in China, TUOJIANGOSAURUS and YANGSHUANOSAURUS. So TUOJIANGOSAURUS has, you know, those shoulder spikes as well, and it has the more pointy plates actually, same as the smaller ones. So we can see a pattern where the Chinese Stegosaurs have these shoulder spikes and more spiked plates. I don't know, it has to do with region, you know, or has an actual advantage, like towards, I don't know, the predators in that area like to munch on their backs, so they develop spines so they can counter that, but we don't know yet. So TUOJIANGOSAURUS, it's gonna be a B tier. I want to put an A tier so bad. I'm gonna put an A tier. TUOJIANGOSAURUS is awesome. It's also huge too. Stegosaurus. So we're down to the big guy, Stegosaurus. Who doesn't know Stegosaurus? One of the most famous dinosaurs ever discovered. You know, your grandma probably knows what a Stegosaurus is. You probably show a child tell a child to draw a dinosaur, is gonna be a Stegosaurus too. You know, big ass plates, various sizes, all around the back. They are not paired, but they're like interlocked. So you have a big one, then a little bit after that one you have you'll follow the pattern. So you'll go in zigzag. One here, one here, one here, one here. You have the thagomizers, which I haven't told you, but thagomizer is not an actual scientific term that was came up with, but it is actually in a comic. They came out with it. Thagomizer, it actually came from a little comic strip. But yeah, Stegosaurus has weird proportions as well. For Stegosaurus, for being the original Stegosaur, you have the shorter hind limbs on the front limbs, and then the hind limbs on the back are way taller. So it has like this huge ass hips. You can see, so if you see it from the front, you can see the big ass hips. Yep. And you can see the hands as well. That's going to be 2 claws in their innermost. So it'd be this two. These 2 fingers would be clawed, and these ones wouldn't be. And yeah, Stegosaurus gave rise to the myth that they were peanut brain. Oh, I'm so sorry. There you go. To the peanut brain, because it has a very small head. They probably didn't have a walnut sized brain, but then that didn't mean they were stupid or anything. They just probably more, you know, I guess, you know, as rhinos, they say they have like bad sight. Stegosaurus, I don't know if it had bad sight, but it was probably very territorial and, you know, very aggressive, which it needed to be because it lived in a place where, you know, Allosaurus were a thing, Ceratosaurus were a thing, and Torvosaurus was a thing. So I think it needed that more than any other creature in there. and probably didn't move very fast. So, you know, it needed all the defense it got. We actually have a lot of battle markings, you know, scars in Allosaurus and Stegosaurus alike. So we know they fought very harshly. Stegosaurus, I'm gonna say it. I know it's cliche. I know it's the original. I know it's very obvious, but Stegosaurus gotta be an S tier. WUERHOSAURUS. Okay, guys, we come to the last one, WUERHOSAURUS. You might be thinking, why did they leave WUERHOSAURUS for last? Well, actually, WUERHOSAURUS is known from the Cretaceous. Yes, very early Cretaceous, though. Early Cretaceous of China. This is one of the most weird Stegosaurus from China, since it resembles more Stegosaurus from North America than any Chinese Stegosaur that we talked about. You have the rounded plates, which is for debate, because the plates of WUERHOSAURUS were found kind of flattish from the top, but it was probably more that they broke off instead of them being like that. So it's probably had more the Stegosaurus shape. That's for the plates. Stegomizer, you know, 4 spikes, but no shoulder spikes for WUERHOSAURUS that we know of. Probably didn't, since its most close relative is Stegosaurus, and that didn't have any shoulder spikes. So one thing that I didn't mention about Stegosaurus in general, is I was thinking about I was actually reading a paper, and babies, like in locomotion for baby Stegosaurus, them being small actually made the possibility of a bipedal running a thing, like a reality. So I could just imagine baby Stegosaurus just running on 2 legs, which would be adorable. I would like a Stegosaur. So, WUERHOSAURUS, Cretaceous Stegosaur, that's like the most interesting thing I think I can say about WUERHOSAURUS. So, you're gonna go in B tier. It's cool that you're from the Cretaceous, but yeah, you're gonna go straight into B tier. Okay, guys, so this is gonna be this Stegosaurus tier list. Let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, do all of that shenanigans. Let me know how you change it too. I mean, Stegosaurs are not my favorite dinosaurs, group of dinosaurs, but I think they're pretty cool as a group because, you know, the Stegosaur bow plan is pretty cool. However, individually, they're nothing too crazy, like variation between them, but I like them a lot. So let me know. Yes, guys, see you in the next one.